Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining this talk, and thank you also for giving us the opportunity to present our project ECOMAI. We are currently working with Sparx Systems Central Europe. So, as Anup said, I'm a consultant within the Liebe Group, where I take care of two projects, scientific projects. One is for Liebe for lemon tree, and the other one is for Sparx Systems Central Europe, ECOMAI. This is what I'm going to talk about today. So when we had the other day the technical test for this conference, I've been asked, you can switch screens, no problem. And I said, no, it's going to be one screen only. It's going to be about enterprise architect, and it's going to be about modeling, and it's only going to be some part of already delivered outcomes I can show you for the time being. So what can you expect in this talk? What I'm going to talk about and share with you today. First of all, I'm going to talk about why we as Sparx Systems Central Europe engage in those kind of scientific projects. Then I will introduce you to the ECOMAI project, talk to you about ecosystem, project goals, the partners we are working on, and what is the value chain, what do we want to achieve with it. We then come a bit closer to this MBSE approach. So what is MBSE in general? What does it mean in such a project where you have so many partners coming from different environments? And then I will give you an insight about this ECOMAI development kit, something we are now in the process to develop. There are 2 steps of it. I will show you. And then what I can show you, as I said, the project is already ongoing. Some insights about one of the use cases we're working on, and some of the concrete outcome, which will be the benefit and also for our enterprise architect ecosystem. And then some takeaway before we open up for Q&A. On this call, we also have Peter Liebe with us. Peter Liebe is the founder of Sparx Systems Central Europe. For any more technical questions and outcomes and implementations, we are going to, obviously, he is the right person. So why do we engage in scientific projects? You can imagine, despite any customer projects we have, it comes with a lot of additional work, a lot of additional viewpoints we have to take. So it's not always that obvious, but we always, in the history of this company, related with scientific and research organizations, strongly in Austria, for instance, the Austrian Institute of Technology, which is a strong partner for us, but also the Johann Kepler Institute. Liebe has this MBSE summit, introduced this MBSE summit, where also this university is a strong partner. So why should we do this? We see that within scientific projects, we really do have the chance to gather best practices from the field. And it's not just from the field like we would encounter within typical customer projects we are working on, but from different type of partners. What does it mean? We have a certain idea about what the model-based approach for us with means. How do we implement? How do we, it shapes our day-to-day work. But different partners coming from industry as well as from research gives an entirely new view and a new approach. So we can explore new things with some limited cost damage, as I put here. Obviously, they are funded, projects which are funded to a certain extent, but still it comes with investment from our side, resource investment time and money, as you can imagine. It gives us the opportunity to learn from hurdles and to understand roadblocks. So one of the outcome also in ECOMAI is that we understood not every solution, not every modeling approach works for every environment. So to understand this, where is this roadblock exactly, and where we can also come in and step in and guide our partners, our customers to the right direction. And this learning from hurdles is also very important. Obviously, you can, in a customer project, it would be too much time consuming, but here we really have two chance to learn, to understand, and to develop further for the benefit of our customers. So ECOMAI is in the ecosystem of CHIPS joint undertaking. It's one of the huge digital initiatives within the European Union. CHIPS joint undertaking, it's a pioneering, it's research, development, and manufacturing capabilities across Europe, bringing together under one umbrella. So the mission is really that in Europe we can shape this semiconductor future within the European Union, and that we gain resilience. So resilience is important, as the past years have shown us. So the problem statement at the beginning of this project was electric motors consume 30% of worldwide power consumption and produce 20% of CO2 emissions. So before that, I was not really aware, but it's still very impressive data. So there is a huge leverage potential to have these electromotors more energy efficient. And in order to reach this, artificial intelligence can help and can be this leverage for it. So what we have in scope for this entire project and what we are working on is, first of all, these electric motor drive systems, and which are used in electric drives, but also, and this is a very important piece, predictive maintenance. So the opportunities here and the markets we are talking here is about automotive, medical, and transportation. And our project goal is that we have an edge artificial intelligence solution which can be integrated into those motor drive systems. So the outcome will be three elements. One is it's going to be a specialized artificial intelligence hardware platform, so really a physical thing. We will have artificial intelligence applications for those predictive maintenance and drive systems, so they can be executed on this piece of hardware. And in order to generate and develop it, we will have a development kit, which is on a model-based design and also offers a simulation environment. So when I say pioneering, we also need to understand, and this is despite any large typical industry customer project, we also have some scientific goals. So there is, on one hand, the really aim to do the research, to publicate the papers, to participate in the congresses, and we also have two PhDs, which are really alongside ECOMAI and really developing and doing the research needed in order to achieve our goals. Obviously, on the other hand, for the industry perspective, why should you partner is innovate these PDM and electric drive system markets? And the really focus is not just on large corporations and companies, but also addressing small and medium enterprises. And I think this is really relevant for us in this community. So modeling and the result we are going to produce should also be applicable for small and medium enterprises playing in this markets, offering services in electric drive systems. So what now are the project's goals for us within Sparx Systems Central Europe? When we considered participating in this project, we looked around about model design frameworks, which are currently available. So this is some while ago, as you can imagine, it was 2002, 2001. And we realized that there is no specific, especially artificial intelligence specific framework available for this tiny ML field. So this tiny machine learning field, which will be the center of the development of this new compiler. And the idea is that we develop these ECOMAI development kits in order to fill this gap, and that we can combine within this development kit the scientific research which is done within the project, but also the industry practice and moreover the industry needs in order to achieve these results. So this dedicated framework shall allow us this shorter development cycle, also a less costly development cycle. And the most important element of it is this more secure systems for this motor control and predictive maintenance. So this is mirrored in our consortium. As you see, we have research, we have university from Germany and from Turkey, and we have these commercial partners, which are large corporations. So Infineon is the lead partner from commercial side, and the TU in Munich is the lead partner for research. But we have here not just large corporations from commercial perspective, but also smaller enterprises which were bringing in their specific use cases, needs, and expectation about the results. When I say research, and this is something which came along the project cycle, which was clear, became clear only along this project cycle, was understand the research, where do these researchers come from. So it's a difference if you say this model-based system engineering, is it coming from an IT department or is it coming from a purely engineering department? And as we have seen, or as we've seen with the key partners we have in place, those two areas are merging together, but still they have an entirely different view on how to approach and how to develop such systems. So the ECOMAI system, there is a value chain. So as I said, by the end of the day, there will be these specialized edge artificial intelligent hardware for drive systems. But in order to achieve that, we have to go on with some specific tasks which are not really cleared or not really developed for the time being. So first of all, as I said, we have two different use cases, two different environments, concrete environments for the practice. One is this condition monitoring, and which leads to this use cases for predictive maintenance. On the other hand, we have this energy efficiency, which is important, which brings in these use cases for ecological electrical drives. So for electrical drives, we have one is in the automotive sector, and the other one is in the rehabilitation robot system. And for predictive maintenance, we have this platform for screen doors, so for public transportation, and also some ultrasonic-based condition monitoring, also an Austrian company. So there were two specific things which had to be solved. One is
Salomé, apologies for the interruption. Are you sharing your screen at the moment?
Yes, I do.
It was abstracted at the moment, I guess.
Okay.
People did not see the screen up to now.
Okay, but you see it now?
We do, yes. Thank you.
Oh, sorry for that. So I didn't hear any didn't see. Okay, so on one side we have, maybe I begin from the beginning. We have this artificial intelligence hardware, this compiler we will produce. And then from this, we have two specific environments. This is this condition monitoring, and the other one is this energy efficient drives, which brings us to two use cases, one for this predictive maintenance and the one for the ecological electric drives. So there were two questions, two really working areas. One is for this monitoring and control task. How do we do the architecture for hardware and for software? And how do we, what are the requirements for these data sets which are needed that we can train this RE properly? So for us, for Sparx Systems, what does it mean in concrete? We were and are working on. So we are working on this model-based design kit you see here for this artificial intelligence enhanced drive system. So it's a model-based design framework which obviously offers this AI compiler, or will bring this AI compiler, and it will also have some the capability to have some virtual prototypes. So we were working together, as you can see here, with some different partners for this virtual prototyping. It was important to understand these components and this methodology, which is currently used. And then also to understand for this design framework, what is currently in use also in research, and how would our partners adapt to those. So, as I said, the project started in 2022. I will talk to you now and give you some insights about this architecture definition, how we developed it, how it evolved, what were our hurdles. We are currently now in this phase of milestone 4, which is something which we will achieve by the end of October. It will be this software implementation, these tools. So the frameworks will be tested on their really practicability. And then step 5 is validation, where we bring it to a form where we can offer it also outside ECOMAI. And this milestone 5 will be reached next spring 2025. So this is also the reason why I really can't show you for the time being this live enterprise architect. As I mentioned before, there are some results in which are yet not officially public. So before starting MBSE, I've been told I can share this story with you. TinyML, as I said, it's all about TinyML, and there was the idea that TinyML means tiny modeling language. But really this is not the case, because TinyML in this ecosystem means it's a type of machine learning. It allows models to run on smaller, less powerful devices. So it really goes for the goal of ECOMAI. And this brings us to the very heart of this project, because what is MBSE and what do we span within this context? So what you see on the left-hand side, this is a chip design flow as it has been elaborated by our scientific leader years ago for his habilitation. So you see here, obviously the word models is present, system architecture is present, software development is present. And from this very beginning, it brings us to this microchip, which is used in one of those test benches, as it is shown by Infineon. So we really have the benefit of coming from the very beginning to the end and understand all this development cycle. So this ECOMAI development kit, how did we start? How did we come into this phase 2 after our industry partners were defining their use cases? First of all, we had, as you saw, understand what is TinyML. So how does it work? We had to be also as a Sparx and as an entire ecosystem had to understand how this operates and how the workflow goes. So we also had to understand how this integration works. So these MATLAB Simulink methodologies, which are used by our industry partners. And then, obviously, the task was on us to talk about architectural viewpoints, to also introduce a concept of domain models, how meta model works, how the methodology works, how different languages works. So all this was needed to gain a common understanding, first of all, in such a diverse ecosystem. You might think this is clear to everybody because they are in research, they are very much occupied with all these elements, but we had to find out if we want to develop this kit, we have to synchronize all these definitions and we have to synchronize and understand directly for each partner in which cycle and in which environment they're working on. So we have to bridge this domain model to this development kit definition. So we are just in the phase of definition and also to find the definition of languages, models, etc. So as I said at the beginning, there was no PML domain model with AI integration we had to refer to. This was one of the hurdles we had to take and we had to find out. Then there was this terminology I already talked about, which was very difficult to get this common understanding. We had to identify what were the tools because enterprise architect was at this time not just defining this RE network as it was thought, how do we incorporate it? So we saw that VVLM was used in research, very familiar. It was describing, obviously, the artificial intelligence approaches and how it fits into ECOMAI use cases is something we had to elaborate and then bringing together this framework, filling all the gaps with artificial intelligence. These were a lot of hurdles we had to take to understand and to discuss in the project. So for this development kit, the common language, the importance of a domain model, you all know that. You are, and as an architect, you know that, how it is important to have this interrelationship in specific domains. And while
Salome,
it captures, yes?
just another query from our viewers. I guess
Yeah,
these slides are not being advanced here. Can you maybe have a look about which screen that you're sharing at the moment?
yes, this one.
Or maybe
I'm
it's
sorry.
not in the presenter view at the moment.
Let me see. Does it work? I'm really sorry. Anup?
We're still seeing the master slide, so could you please
Phew.
try clicking Shift and F5? That should take us to a presenter view.
Yes, I'm really sorry. I mean, we did the test, so it's all about testing, you know. Uh, so let me do this again. And now,
No, it's good. Thank you.
you, and now it goes to the next slide. That's the question.
Yeah, it's changing, so we can still
It's
see.
changing. Oh, okay, very good, very good.
We
Okay,
are at page
good.
number 19 now.
Yes, correct. Okay. So for this ECOMAI development kit, as I said, for us, the importance of having a domain model proves now along the project as very beneficial. So because it also captures business objects and types. So when you think about MBSE, you might think, this is not important to have this view, this business process view, mirroring all the design software applications and having it in a model. But we understood within the project that stakeholders might have not the same understanding of the project, and it helps us a lot to have all this intricacy on a model to show also all this environment we are in. So it's all about creating an effective and efficient system design also means capturing these business objects and types. So this is really what we learned from the practice. So we took all the effort. I know it's not the first time you see a glossary excerpt from Enterprise Architect within these past 2 days. We also did this for ECOMAI, and it really, along the project, proved as very important and very key element for the success of it. We also did the effort of having this ECOMAI taxonomy in Enterprise Architect, working together within all the relevant contacts within our ecosystem from a different perspective. And also this is just one excerpt, was very important. So now what was then we had this glossary, we had this terminology, we had this discussion. So what was then the modeling approach for this ECOMAI design kit? So we then went and developed a multi-layered architecture for this kit. So this was and is still really relevant because it allows us to have different viewpoints for stakeholders. So this approach also has the different standardized modeling notations, and also now by the end, where we come really into practice, this proves us really beneficial because we can differentiate the level of business usage, and we can make sure that within this different usage and field of practice, it can still, this design kit and this architecture is still understandable. It also allows us to have this process documentation, obviously, and we have included active scenarios and this tool catalog. So this is just one glimpse of the business layer. As I said, this multi-layered architecture. This is you see here we have obviously these different domains. We have included also tools, requirements, and what are needed for these use case models in order that we can really achieve and follow the process. Another view, so we were working on, and this is still for this ECOMAI development kit, which serves for this entire project. So now reaching milestone 4, I'm going to give you an short insight into one of our consortium's partners. We are very closely working together. It's Albayrak. It's a Turkish company. They do this predictive maintenance, was in the focus of the project, and they do this automatic for public transportation, these automatic doors. So they deliver this to public transportation all over Europe. So in those working packaging, what we did from step by step, they didn't use Enterprise Architect for the system modeling. So this modeling approach was something new to them. And we really did all this training and this learning. And for them, it was really a shift from coming from an entirely different approach to architecture and to modeling to model with Enterprise Architect and have it in such a centralized form. So it helped them for understanding this artificial intelligence based condition monitoring system to deal with all the data they gain within artificial intelligence. So this was done in this hardware software architecture definition where they brought in and could work with all the data they now do and how to understand how this model training and application can work. So we invested a lot, first of all, to introduce them to the tool, to train them, to give them this new approach, this new methodology. How does this navigation work? How does this Internet of Things platform, how they can all bring together their new requirements, the research which is done by their university, and mirror those into architecture. So this is one, the system context. So for this edge device they are doing. So as you can see, the first glimpse, you all know that. So this data collection was obviously a big question for them, and they were in the position to solve this issue with this new approach. This is one side. This is just on working on the use cases. Based on this experience, we are working on ECOMAI. This is something we on Sparx Systems. This is kind of our use case. So the purpose is that we can offer a design framework which is obviously supporting the model-based specification for all the use cases we see in this ECOMAI environment. So as we said, they are in the practice, and when we gathered together with our partner, we saw there are many approaches, methods, languages, and but they were not all really fulfilling the specific needs and especially the concerns for these ECOMAI systems we are working on. So ECOMAI is based on the SysMod methodology, so it's tailored for the special needs, but we're supporting these modeling processes, and it will include also some model patterns, and it will also offering some pre-failed model templates for different project types. And ECOMAI is also something then obviously as a result of the project, we will be able to share by the end of the project. We have, as I said earlier, within this ecosystem, you have partners on different stages of the development of any MBSE, different views, different stages, and we have to understand from each partner where are they currently, how do they integrate, on which delivery cycle they are, and where is really this modeling, this architecture bringing in the most value. So we saw with Albarak that the data collection is one of the most important elements for them. This is why we supported them the most. We have for Motion some specific requirements for the control loop, but also for the requirements engineering is something we're working on. And then we have this UsePath, these interactive systems. They were really delighted by this modeling approach, that they said we are not going to use it just for systems, but this also helps us to further develop the company. So they are now also in the enterprise architecture for the company using this idea. So for us, ECOMAI will have, as I said, this modeling methodology. It will have this EV workflow automation support, which is now on the work, which is the next milestone we are going to reach. And one of the functionalities which is already working, but now in the mode of analyzing and integration, is a crowd graph visualization. It turned out, working together with the partner, that this is very important to understand this visualization. So it's going to be a holistic view of a specific context, the source file. As I said, artificial intelligence is here one of the driver for this innovation. And it will also include some representation, evaluation, as we saw them in the field with our partners. So this is a first glimpse on this ECOMAI modeling toolbox we're working on. There will be these model structures. We have these elements and patterns which have turned out to be really important within such a context. And then obviously there will be also some new views on how to adopt it. So with that, I want to share with you some golden nuggets. As I said, it was about and not in enterprise architect. And for us, in order to be successful and having this success inside for next spring, this to understand the project organization is really key. And this goes for any modeling project. Why? Because roles, understanding roles and responsibilities also shows us and guides us to the right way of frameworks, languages we have to use in order to make sure we as an entire ecosystem can all benefit from the result. Then this investment in training, yes, it's a lot. We did a lot of training. We trained a lot of partners, and the level were really different, as I saw it in Albayrak, using this modeling approach and getting used with enterprise architect was an investment for us, personal training, but it really helped us also to understand what are really the needs of these customers. So ecosystem means you don't come in with a ready solution. We don't come in and say, this is the framework you have to use, but developing it together, and magic happens at the end of the rainbow. So it's all about innovation. And as I showed you, from research to this compiler, to this piece of hardware, it's a long way. And it really helped us to go within this project, within this research project, to identify the requirements of each step and getting an understanding on what needs to be developed and to be ready in order to support this process. So a tool with a tool is still a tool. So the more tools you know that, the more complex, and also what we saw, the more resistance for usage. So gathering all together in one model gives a good overview and ensures all the people. And yes, this last balance, analysis versus implementation. So Albert Einstein once said, if I would have 1 hour to save the world, I would invest 55 minutes to understand the problem and 5 minutes to take action. So this is also to conclude my talk. I was talking 55 minutes about the setup, interaction in this project, and just a little about the action. So obviously more is to come, but just a little bit. So all the result and the benefit we are going to develop can only happen, and this magic can only happen because we took and went all through this process of bringing this modeling approach to the community. And so it is also for us. So you all are the architect of the company, of data and systems. So all the efforts we take will obviously lead into the position that we can take action on a very sustainable way, and which will also help the company and our environment to bring innovation. So if you want to read more, if you want to join the ecosystem, you find us on LinkedIn, and there is also a homepage, and you can also join Peter and me on LinkedIn with our personal profile. So thank you very much. And again, I'm sorry for this technical problems we had to face.
Thank you, Salome, for sharing your thoughts on the integration of AI with MBSE. It has provided
Mhm,
us with a compelling vision of the future, and we
mhm.
have a few questions, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So,
So I hope Peter is on the call. Maybe you can unmute him. Should it be too technical? So
sure. And it was around, can we get some case studies where ECOMAI was successfully integrated into existing systems?
into no, the project is about use cases which are now developed within the ECOMAI system. So obviously, in the future, we will, in around April, we will be in the position that we can publicly speak about how it is used within these use cases, and also more about also where it didn't fit in. I mean, this is also one of the most important learning because we have some use cases where we realize it doesn't fit in and it doesn't fit the purpose. But this is something we can share with you then by the end when the project officially closes.
And then could you share some details that are around operational data that you collect from electric motors and utilized with ECOMAI?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. So,
Could you share some details around operational data from electric motors that were collected and maybe utilized with ECOMAI?
um, also this is something which is in the hands of our partners. So obviously, it's interesting to understand how they collect the data, especially for Albayrak. And this is something, yeah, we are working on, and we can give some more insights then along the project. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Salome. So we understand that this project is still in its near infancy, and we'd be glad to get your.
Yeah. I mean, you have
We'd
to
be,
understand there what I can say is obviously we aim really for, how shall I say, visionary goals. So really reducing power consumption of electrical motors. There is a high level of innovation there also for our industry partners. There was some testing, there was some research done, and the only thing I can say to you now is it is really promising what has been reached from this perspective. But obviously, the results as such, yeah, for the time being, we cannot publicly announce them. Yeah.
thank you, and we are all ears to gather updates from you as time passes on. And you mentioned that it's
Yes.
going to be around next April since we get an update.
Yes, correct. Correct. Yes. And we by then will have also this clear view about the environment of this eco mode modeling toolkit we are going to offer to the entire community. Yeah.
Much appreciated, Salome. So we really appreciate your insights on this. And to all our attendees, thank you for your active participation and engagement. If you have any further questions or wish to continue the discussion,
Mhm.
please join us on our Slack channel where our speaker and the team will be available to respond. And I have yet another exciting announcement. We are thrilled to invite you to EA Global Summit in-person event happening in Munich, Germany in 2025. So mark April 29th and 30th in your diaries. It's a fantastic opportunity to connect, learn, and share your insights with peers from around the world. If you are interested, please reach out to us at marketing@eaglobalsummit.com. And we have a few more sessions lined up before we wrap it up. So stay tuned, everyone. Thank you.